If you've not been paying attention, you may have missed the announcement over on Nexus that they are introducing something called the donation point system to their website. This is going to be a system that allows mod authors to earn points based upon how many unique downloads their mods have, and then they will get some sort of reward from those points. They can actually spend those points on things like premium membership. They can even withdraw it as a monetary value over PayPal or donate it to charity. And of course, because this is new and it involves potential money, lots of people are going to freak out completely. So let me start by saying, don't freak out. Two things you should know about this system straight away. One, the amount of money we're talking is not going to be significant. Probably a few dollars a month, even for the most prolific mod makers. It's really just more of, at the moment, more of a gesture, more of a thank you very much. Nobody is going to be giving up their day job with this system. And number two, it is not replacing the current donation system over on Nexus. If you want to donate money to your favorite mod authors as a sign of gratitude, you still can. That is not changing. So how does this work? Well, Nexus are going to set up a pool, and into that pool they are going to put some money each month. They're aiming for about $100,000 per year, so that's what, $8,000 in a single month? And that's a reasonable amount of money, but remember, there are something like 80,000 mod makers on Nexus, 250,000 files, so there's a lot of people there who might opt into this system. But that money is in this pool and it will be shared out amongst the mod makers based upon the unique downloads. Now, I think the eventual aim is to allow the community to put into this pool as well. So you could say donate $10 to this monthly pool, or even if you want, perhaps set up a monthly donation, $5 per month. If you use hundreds of mods all of the time and you want to support the modding community, you might be able to do that. I think that's where they're going to be heading. This of course will be an option. This isn't something you'll be forced to do, and it will be something similar to the donation system, but instead of you specifically picking one mod author you want, you just give it to the community in general. Now of course no system is perfect, and I'm sure many of you are already coming up with a variety of objections, from whether or not this is fair to do it by unique downloads to, well, what happens if I want to donate but I want it to go to the people whose mods I've used, not to to the generic community. And these are all valid concerns, but of course no system is going to be perfect. Every system is going to be unfair in someone's eyes, and they've probably just picked what they feel is the least controversial and simplest system. You've got to have a system that's pretty simple. Overall, I think this is a great idea. It's definitely something I would be willing to engage with. I do appreciate that you might be saying to yourself, well, what happens if I use 100 mods and I put in a $10 donation? I'd like my $10 to go to all of the mod authors I've downloaded from, but not people I've never downloaded a mod from. And I understand that instinct, but I think what you have to understand is that would be bloody complicated. They'd have to track a lot of data, the calculation would get a lot more complicated, and therefore a lot more likely to break, to have bugs and get bad reporting. And of course the last thing we want are mod authors to be told, oh, but you've got such and such a points, and then them getting a letter saying, no, there was a bug in our system, you didn't. So they've got to keep it simple. Think of it this way. You're putting money into this pool, and yes, some of the money will go to mods that you've downloaded, some will go to mods that you haven't. But that's true of everyone. So someone else who uses mods you don't use, they've put money in, and it's gone to the mods you like, not the ones they like. Overall, it probably averages out. However, if you are absolutely determined to only donate to people that you make the mods you like, you still have the option to do that via the current donation system. I just think this system's kind of cool because what you're doing is instead of saying thank you to 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 mod makers, you're just saying thank you to the entire community. You're saying, you know what, I want to donate $10, I want to donate $50. Maybe you use hundreds of mods and you just want to donate $50 to the modding community as a general thank you. You can do that, and I'm sure the mod makers will all appreciate it in some way. It's just a nice little way to give back to the people who make the mods and make them feel a little more appreciated. So I think this is a good thing. It's not taking away from the existing donation system. It's not, you're not forced into it. You're not paying for the mods. It is purely a donation system, or at least that's what I think they're going to aim for eventually. Currently, it is just donations from Nexus itself. Now, I'm going to leave a link to the article so you can go and read all about it yourself, and you can even read the comments, which are generally quite negative, which is no surprise whatsoever. A lot of people who are worried about, you know, this potential problem and that potential problem. To people who have a negative feeling towards this, I will say, I think you're probably overreacting. Again, this is completely voluntary. We're not talking about huge quantities of money, at least not at the moment. And even if we were talking about reasonable amounts of money that would mean mod makers could go full time, which we're not. We're not even remotely. Even if we were, I still think a lot of the negative, a lot of the problems people are having are not going to crop up often enough. There will be the odd case where somebody tries to abuse the system. Someone will try to steal someone's mods and earn download points for it. We all know every time something like this happens, there will be people who try to push their luck. We all remember Bethesda.net, we all remember console mods, and I will just remind you that every time this happens, there is a brief period where everyone is screaming, the sky is falling, and it does indeed look like occasionally bits of sky are falling on our heads. But after a short period, an adjustment time, things settle and the bad apples get seriously squashed. That is almost certainly what will happen with this. If you see people doing things that seem shady on their mods to try and get more download points, I'm pretty damn sure you're going to say something in the post section. You'll probably report them, other people will, and then the admins and moderators will get involved. I have a feeling this is going to be reasonably non-problematic and generally a very positive development. It's going to be something that the mod makers like, I think. I mean, I might be wrong on that, but it's kind of nice to get a little score going, little donation points. I kind of feel like I'm back in an MMO guild or something, doing raids and earning dragon points or something. And then once you get enough, you can actually have a decent piece of loot or something. But it's going to be like that. It's going to be something that's a bit of fun, a little rewarding, but overall, it's not going to have a great impact on the modding community, at least not a negative one, I think, once the dust has settled. So we will see if I'm right, though, of course. Feel free to leave comments on either this video or, of course, probably more usefully on the article page itself. If you're curious about things, there is a FAQ, and it should answer most of the questions and worries that you might have. Thank you for listening to me ramble on, and I will get back to you if there are any developments in this area.